Hi, y'all. It's been a minute. I just wanted to pop in and do a little catch up and talk about some fun future things. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Caitlin. I'm a writer documenting my entire process to becoming a published author. You might have clicked on this video just to watch me play around in Plotter. If so, you can head to this timestamp and skip the life update. But I would love if you hung out with me for a little bit. I have just spent the past 2 weeks in a complete whirlwind, and I kind of wish that I had filmed some of it, but I wasn't sure if you would even be interested in watching it or not. But basically, in preparation for a life change that I'm not quite ready to divulge, I have been going through every single thing that I own and deciding whether or not it's time to let go of it. I've always been someone who has struggled quite a bit with letting things go, mostly because of the guilt of having spent money on it in the first place. And every time I try to purge or clean out my closet, I am struck with this overwhelming self negativity, and I just end up quitting. But these past few weeks have been such a game changer for my mental health, and I think it's just because I'm having a way more positive outlook because of the anticipation of this life change. If you're like me and also struggle with getting rid of clothes, something that I did that has really helped was organized a clothing swap with some of my friends, and I was able to offload 2 full boxes worth of clothing that I have had since high school and has somehow made it through 4 separate moves. And let me tell you, just looking at my clothes and imagining my friends in them and loving them and giving them a new life definitely destroyed any sort of hesitation that I usually have when trying to do this. I also reached out to a local women's shelter, and any of the clothes that were left over from that swap ended up being donated to them. And it is just such a good feeling knowing that the things that are no longer serving me are going towards women and teenagers in need, and not just some overpriced thrift store. Something else that has helped me feel a lot lighter and happier during this purge is trying to sell things on Facebook Marketplace, which has been a lot of work with photographing and creating listings and organizing pickups, but it has definitely been worth it. And now, whenever I'm having hesitations about letting something go, I think to myself, if I were able to sell this and make some of the money back on it that I originally spent, but that money would go towards fueling something fun for future me, is it worth it? And the answer is overwhelmingly yes. And I have to remind myself that the money is already spent and there's nothing I can do to go back in time to change that. But what's more likely to happen is I can either take the time now to try to sell it, or inevitably end up donating it at the very last minute when the deadline hits and I no longer have time to think about it. And I'm trying to be as sustainable as possible during this process, like gifting things to friends or selling it, so that I know that it has a higher chance of being loved and valued rather than just ending up in the landfill. I'm also toying with the idea of a second channel. Posting would definitely be a lot less frequent over there, though I will say posting over here has been a little slow due to trying to work through the last weeks of class. But I had an idea in mind called the Craft It Gone series. Basically, I am a collector of craft supplies and hobbies that I do not have as much time for now as I used to, but I would love an excuse to put these supplies to use and make things for friends or family or even you guys. There's no fun in supplies just sitting in bins waiting to be used. And I've saved a lot of inspiration pics on Pinterest over the years. And as I've been downsizing and unofficially participating in no buy, I want to start making things for my space again, things that feel a little more authentic to my space and myself. So I will let you know if I end up creating a second channel, and who knows, it might actually already be in the description below. Anyways, that is my little life update, and I just wanted to share because all of this positive purging has really got me reflecting. And I've realized that the life that I want to live is not necessarily rooted in having all of these possessions that I carry with me into each new chapter of my life. There are so many little things that I find happiness and joy in, and I'm at this stage in my life where I would really like to be surrounded by things that I love and value and that inspire me to take time for the things that bring me joy, like writing or crafting, rather than things that I am holding on to for the sake of guilt. I'm one of those people that loves spring cleaning. I actually spent the morning doing some spring cleaning myself, and I have very fond memories of it from childhood. Hi, Mama. And I recognize the inspiration that comes from warmer weather and spring flowers and just coming out of hibernation. And that's what this period has really felt like for me. I'm very grateful to have time and energy again to devote to my future self. And I know she is very proud of the me now who's making these small choices. She feels lighter and happier, and just like there's more room in her heart and brain for creativity again, which was all a very long-winded way of saying that I have a project that I'm working on right now that feels very reminiscent of this feeling, and I thought you might want to come along for the ride. If you've been watching me for a while now, you probably already know that I have a bajillion projects going at a time, but my process for plotting is usually the same for each one. When I was about 14 and really got interested in writing long-form content, I found the 27 chapter outline by Kat O'Keefe, and it was a game changer. I know a lot of my AuthorTube friends use Save the Cat, and what's helpful to me is that the 27 chapter outline has a very similar beat style, but a lot more structure, which I find incredibly useful because if I am left to my own devices and have a lot of space in between, I'm going to get overwhelmed. I need structures, I need visuals. I used to actually plot on a blank wall with sticky notes, but it wasn't entirely helpful when I had 3 projects going at a time and sticky notes were falling. And so as I've been clearing up space physically, I decided that I wanted to clear up some mental space. And so I started doing some research on writing tools that could help me feel a little bit more organized. And that's how I found Plottr. And I've been playing around with it for the past couple days, and I am really excited to share it with you. Full disclosure, this video is not sponsored by Plottr, but I had reached out to the team and they did give me full access to the program, which is either a monthly subscription or a one-time paid in full fee in exchange for my honest opinions about it. And my honest opinions are I would not promote something that I did not enjoy, and I genuinely enjoy using this software, and I think that it would be helpful and enjoyable to a lot of you. So without further ado, I would love to walk through the program with you in real time as we plot out the prequel to the project I'm working on right now. So when you open up Plottr, it's going to look like this, with the exception of the projects that I have already made. And we're going to come up here and we're going to hit Create Blank Project. And I'm going to title this Project Requiem, which is actually the second book, a prequel to the story I'm working on right now. If you like My Lady Jane or Renegade Nell, you might like my novel Sir Callan Gray's Final Lament. It's a soft fantasy that follows a disgraced medieval knight and the time-traveling journalist who is trying to uncover the truth behind his exiling. Now, when it opens, you'll have a very nice, simple display, and it'll automatically open up this timeline view. And what I love about the software is how easy it is to use, and there's not like a bunch of features in your face right away. You'll see that it automatically has a chapter 1 and a main plot line for us. You can click this plus button to create new chapters, or you can scroll down and use this use template feature to auto-populate a different structure. What's really helpful about the templates is that you can actually filter them. So right here, if I wanted like a romance subplot, I could do that. What I also love is that you can click on any of the templates and it'll give you a sidebar view of just exactly what it would create before you commit them to your project. I went ahead and made a 27 chapter outline for myself, so that's what I'm actually going to use right now. You'll see that it creates an outline with all of the chapters and the chapter descriptions. I also color coded them because it's just another added visual cue for me. This particular outline is based on a setup conflict resolution pattern, and so it's helpful for me to kind of see that as I'm writing. If you click directly on the scene card, you will see that it has an area for you to write more, whether it be chapter description or details or whatever. And you can also view this just by like hovering over it, but I chose to write out the entire what's needed in that title so I could just see it at a quick glance. Now, obviously we can't walk through every single chapter together because spoilers, but I wanted to just show off some features that I found really helpful. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a new chapter, and we'll just title this The King's Decree, and that's sort of just the chapter title, and I'm going to click on it and write a very brief description of chapter 1. Okie dokie, that is the beginning of chapter 1. On the left-hand sidebar here, you can actually assign attributes, like whether this book is in a series, what plot line this is a part of. Like, for instance, if I were to do that romance subplot, I could change it here. What chapter it's a part of, which is also really important because I like to move my chapters around. And this is just one of the easy ways that I can do it without completely destroying the timeline. The other cool thing is you can directly tag characters, places, or even make your own tags. So for this first chapter, I know that I need my character Will, so I'll just go ahead and add her here. So what we're going to do is we're going to close and go up to characters and create a new character. So I've just gone ahead and added her name, her category, which she is a main character, just a short little description, which I will probably change, but for the sake of the video, I wanted to make it fun. And then character thumbnail, and please don't come for me, I hate using AI generated character art, so I just pick characters that I think look similar. Now I can add my own description about her here. Something else is they also have templates for this too. The one that I really enjoy is... where did it go? Oh, the goal, motivation, conflict. I'm going to choose this, and I will not be filling this out with you because, again, major spoilers, but there are a lot of other templates that you can use. Another fun one is just the character bio, which is just good to have in case you kind of forget the attributes of your character. Now we're going to go back to the timeline, back into chapter 1, and up here we are going to add our main character. We can also do places, which I will do right now. So I just added the main setting, which is the town of Brighton. I gave it an ominous descriptor to keep you intrigued. And if I had a very large setting, you know, like a very big magical epic that took place over a bunch of different places, this would be a good time to categorize it. I don't have direct images for this place, so I will leave that blank for now. And then I could also go ahead and add in some other things in this little description here. It would be good to note kind of Callan's relationship to it, maybe Ada's relationship to it, but this is all that I need for now. Sweet, some fun housekeeping things to kind of point out while we're here is that you can filter by characters, places, tags, even the colors of the cards. Another good use for color coding your scene cards would be if you had multiple POVs, you could definitely color code them that way. You can also flip the orientation, so if you prefer it to be vertical rather than horizontal. You can also change the size of the icons, which I am going to use for Project Lament because that deals with very many timelines and it will be really helpful to kind of sort of see it at a glance like this. You can also search terms. Over here you can jump to different parts of the timeline, and you can also customize the look. But my favorite part is that you can actually use this in Scrivener. So when my timeline is all done, I can actually go up here and save it as a Scrivener file, and that is going to create a new Scrivener file for me with everything already divided up into the outline. Michael Laron actually has a really great and fully comprehensive video that I will link below in case you wanted just a more in-depth tutorial rather than just me kind of playing around in Plottr. If you want to try out Plottr for yourself, I will also have that linked in the description. It is an affiliate link. I do earn a small commission if you make a purchase at no extra cost to you, but it is a really good way to support my channel. I hope you had fun catching up and getting a sneak peek of my new project. And I will say Cal and I are on a small break right now, which is great because I'm feeling a renewed energy for writing while still playing in the world of Project Lament, but in a different head. And I think that's going to be great because I will come back with sort of fresh eyes and a new perspective. If you enjoyed hanging out with me or learned something, or even if you just want to see where this project goes, please consider liking and subscribing. You can binge all of my videos on the November drafting challenge where we write Project Lament together in real time. I have a lot of other fun stuff in the description below, but I actually have to get back to class now, so I'm gonna end here, but I will see you all again hopefully very soon. Happy writing.